Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Monday, October 17th, 2022. Today, I'm going to recap the weekend's Major League Baseball playoff games, look ahead to tonight's Game 5 that will be played tonight. We have NFL and college to go over from the weekend, look ahead to Monday Night Football. We have the Major League Soccer playoffs, NHL, NBA preseason, golf, NASCAR, my NBA top 100 player rankings, news and notes, and best bet of the day. We're going to start with the Major League Baseball playoffs, and it was a really interesting weekend, to say the least. We'll start Friday. Guardians over the Yankees, 4-2 in 10 innings. They evened the series that won apiece. Phillies over the Braves, 9-1 to take a 2-1 series lead. And the Padres over the Dodgers, 2-1 to take a 2-1 series lead. And then Saturday, Phillies over the Braves, 8-3 in Game 4 to move on to the NLCS. Astros over the Mariners, 1-0 in 18 innings on a solo shot by Jeremy Payton on the top of the 18th to move on to the ALCS. Guardians over the Yankees, 6-5 on a 2-run walk-off single by Oscar Gonzalez to take a 2-1 series lead. And the Padres over the Dodgers, 5-3 as they come back from 3 runs down to win Game 4 to move on to the NLCS to set up an improbable matchup with the Phillies. And then yesterday, the Yankees knock off the Guardians 4-2. They even up the series back at 2 apiece to force a decisive Game 5 in the Bronx tonight, 7 o'clock on TBS. You have Aaron Savali and Jameson Taillon. It's going to be an interesting game. The weird thing here is that the Yankees were bigger favorites last night in Cleveland than they are tonight in game number 5. But the question is, will it matter? The Yankees are minus 158. The Guardians are plus 134. Over under 7.5. Over is minus 102. Under is minus 120. Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 162. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 134. So, as we mentioned at the top, it's Taillon against Savali. The Guardians are committed to doing a bullpen game. They have all their best relievers available with the closer, Clase. They also have available to them James Karinchak and Trevor Stefan. Those are their big three. They have those guys all available. I think the Yankees are going to have everybody available despite the debacle that was Game 3 where Aaron Boone decides to go with Clark Schmidt over Clay Holmes. And the excuse was that Clay Holmes can't really go back-to-backs unless it's an emergency situation. Guess what? That was an emergency situation. You held them back, and you're the reason why the team is down 2-1. And, oh, yeah, your poor roster decision-making, too. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa benched, obviously, in Game 4 and will be benched in Game 5. Probably benched for the rest of the postseason if the Yankees move past the Guardians. And Brian Cashman's to blame for the poor roster decisions as well. I mean, the injuries have a lot to do with it as well. More so for the Hicks part of it, less so for the Kiner-Falefa part of it. Because if DJ LeMahieu and Andrew Benintendi are healthy, they sweep the Guardians. No ifs, ands, or buts. But here we are at Game 5. So it's going to be for the Yankees, Taillon. I think we're going to see Nestor Cortez out of the bullpen. And then it's going to be Loaisiga, Holmes, and Peralta in some order, 7 through 9. Because ideally, J-Mo should go batter by batter in a way. But if he's really good, then go as far as he can go and then go to Cortez. But if Cortez flops, then you go to Herman. And then Lou Trevino should be available as well. I know the Guardians have all their big guys available. But this is Yankee Stadium. This place is going to be raucous in an elimination game. I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think one swing of the bat, this is going to be similar to the Astros-Mariners Game 3. One swing's going to decide the bat, of a bat's going to decide the game. And I think it's more likely the Yankees hit a home run than the Guardians. So, my play for the game, in terms of a bet, is going to be first half result tie plus 460, or just went up to plus 490. First half result, Yankees just went from minus 110 to minus 115. I don't know if that's good or bad. Guardians plus a half first half run line is interesting too, but I can see where the Yankees have like a one-run lead. So I'm going to go with the tie because I think that this is either 0-0 or 1-1 in the fifth inning, maybe even probably 0-0. So I'm going to go Guardians first half run line plus a half at minus 110. Do I feel good about it? No. I think the Yankees win the game. I'm going to go Guardians first half run line, assuming that they have either a one-run lead or if it's tied. But I don't think that the game's over if the Guardians take the lead at any point because of their good bullpen arms. One of those guys can collapse. We've seen good pitchers collapse in the playoffs this year. It's happened. So that just went to minus 108. So that's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna go Guardians first half run line plus a half at minus 108 for the play first half. But the Yankees will win the game. I'm gonna say the Yankees win this game 2-1, and I would not be shocked if it's a walk-off, a walk-off home run. Why not go with Aaron Judge? Because he's been the best player in baseball all year. I know he struggled in this series, but I think that he's going to remind some people, hey, I was the AL home run. I'm the new AL home run king. All right, now I'll move on to football. We will talk about the NFL first and go over yesterday's games, and then we have a Monday night game to preview as well. Giants over the Ravens, 24-20. This Giants team continues to find ways to win. They're 5-1. The Ravens are 2-4. I'm sorry, 3-3. Daniel Jones, 19-27, 173 yards and 2 touchdown passes. And Lamar, 17-32, 210 yards, a touchdown, and a brutal interception, which led to the Saquon Barkley go-ahead touchdown. Falcons over the 49ers, 28-14. Falcons 3-3, 49ers 3-3. Marcus Mariota, 13-14, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Garoppolo, 29-41, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Patriots over the Browns, 38-15. Patriots 3-3, Browns 2-4. Bailey Zappi was excellent, 24-34, 309 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacoby Brissett, 21-45, 266 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Jets over the Packers, 27-10. Jets 4-2, Packers 3-3. Zach Wilson, 10-18, 110 yards, and Aaron Rodgers, 26-41, 246 yards, and a touchdown. Colts over the Jaguars, 34-27. Colts 3-2-1, Jacksonville 2-4. Matt Ryan, 42-58, 389 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was his best game so far of the season. And Trevor Lawrence, 20-22, 165 yards and a touchdown. And a rushing touchdown. Vikings over the Dolphins, 24-16. Vikings 5-1, Dolphins 3-3. Kirk Cousins, 20-3, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater came in because Skylar Thompson left with an injury. 23-34, 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. And then Thompson was 7-13, 89 yards before the injury. Bengals over the Saints, 30-26. Bengals 3-3, New Orleans 2-4. Joe Burrow, 28-37, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Andy Dalton, 17-32, 162 yards and a touchdown. Steelers over the Buccaneers 20-18. Steelers 2-4. Tampa 3-3. Mitch Trubisky came in for Kenny Pickett, who left the game due to concussion protocol. Trubisky 9-12, 144 yards and a touchdown. And Pickett 11 of 18 with 67 yards and a touchdown. Tom Brady 25 of 40, 243 yards and a TD. Rams over the Panthers 24-10. Rams 3-3, Carolina 1-5. Matt Stafford 26 of 33, 253 yards, a touchdown and a pick six. And PJ Walker 10 of 16 with 60 yards. He was terrible. Seahawks over the Cardinals 19-9. Seahawks 3-3, Cardinals 2-4. Geno Smith 20 of 31, 197 yards, and Kyler Murray 23 of 37, 222 yards and a pick, and 10 for 100 on the ground. Bills over the Chiefs 24-20. Bills 5-1, Chiefs 4-2. Josh Allen 27 of 40, 329 yards and 3 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes 25 of 40, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. And the Eagles over the Cowboys 26-17. Cowboys dropped the 4-2. Philly 6-0. It's the first time that Cooper Rush has looked like a pumpkin. Dak Prescott likely back next week. 18 of 38, 191 yards, a touchdown, and 3 picks. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 25, 155 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And now tonight we have on ESPN at 8:15 the Broncos and the Chargers. Should be an interesting game. Buck and Aikman on the call, as we know. For this game, there's a lot of players injured. We had just learned that Justin Simmons will be back for Denver. Out for Denver, though. Randy Gregory, Jamal Williams, who's out for the year, Garrett Bowles, Ronald Darby, and the linebacker that is pretty underrated on this team, Josie Jewell. And on the Chargers side, you're out Keenan Allen, Rashawn Slater, and Joey Bosa. It looks like Mike Williams is going to play, and it looks like Dustin Hopkins is going to play. My projections I'll share in a second. And the Chargers are favored by 4.5. Totals 45.5. I have 7.5 and 41 and 3/10. So, for my final play of Fab 5, I'm going to go with the under in this game. No Keenan Allen, no Williams. I think this is a lower scoring game than people think, even without Joey Bosa. So I'm going to go with my last pick of the Fab 5. Actually, going to do it on FanDuel this time. Under 45.5 between the Broncos and the Chargers. All right, now I'll move on to college football. We will discuss the weekend's results. It was an interesting weekend, to say the least, in college football. As well, we'll begin with Friday night. SMU over Navy 40-34. SMU 3-3, Navy 2-4. UTSA over FIU 30-10. UTSA 5-2. FIU 2-4. Saturday, number 10 Penn State over number 5 Michigan. Oh my God, that was totally wrong. Number 5 Michigan over number 10 Penn State 41-17. Michigan 7-0. Penn State 5-1. I can't believe I just said the wrong result on the air. Oops. Number 9, Ole Miss over Auburn, 48-34. Ole Miss 7-0. Auburn 3-4. Oklahoma over number 19, Kansas, 52-42. Oklahoma 4-3. Kansas 5-2. Number 22, Texas over Iowa State, 24-21. Texas 5-2. Iowa State 3-4. Number 24, Illinois over Minnesota, 26-14. Illinois 6-1. Minnesota 4-2. So Illinois quietly still in there. Army over Colgate, 42-17. Army 2-4. Colgate 1-5. Central Michigan over Akron, 28-21. Central Michigan 2-5. Akron 1-6. Bowling Green over Miami of Ohio, 17-13. Bowling Green 3-4. Miami of Ohio 3-4. Old Dominion upsets Coastal Carolina, 49-21. So that was a Fab 5 pick gone wrong. Old Dominion 3-3, Coastal 6-1. Miami over Virginia Tech 20-14. Miami 3-3, Virginia Tech 2-5. Buffalo over UMass 34-7. Buffalo 4-3, UMass 1-6. Colorado over Cal 20-13 in overtime. Colorado 1-5, Cal 3-3. Ball State over UConn 25-21. Ball State 4-3, UConn 3-5. Number 1, Georgia over Vanderbilt 55-0. Georgia 7-0. Vandy 3-4. Number 6, Tennessee upsets number 3, Alabama 52-49. That was with Bryce Young in the lineup. Tennessee 6-0. Alabama 6-1. Number 13, TCU over number 8, Oklahoma State 43-40 in double overtime. TCU 6-0. Oklahoma State 5-1. Number 18, Syracuse over number 15, NC State 24-9. Syracuse 6-0. NC State 5-2. Arkansas over BYU 52-35. So another 5-5 pick gone wrong. Arkansas 4-3. BYU 4-3. Liberty over Gardner-Webb 21-20. Liberty 6-1. Gardner-Webb 2-5. Maryland over Indiana 38-33. Maryland 5-2. Indiana 3-4. Northern Illinois over Eastern Michigan 39-10. Northern Illinois 2-5. Eastern Michigan 4-3. Toledo over Kent State 52-31. Toledo 5-2. Kent State 2-5. Ohio over Western Michigan 33-14. Ohio 4-3. Western Michigan 2-5. Troy over Texas State 17-14. Troy 5-2. Texas State 3-4. UAB over Charlotte 34-20. UAB 4-2. Charlotte 1-6. Western Kentucky over Middle Tennessee 35-17. Western 4-3. Middle 3-4. Georgia Southern upsets number 25 James Madison 45-38. Georgia Southern 4-3. JMU 5-1. So that was a good pick for the Fab Five. That was the money line pick of the week. Michigan State over Wisconsin 34-28 in double overtime. Michigan State 3-4. Wisconsin 3-4. Tulane over South Florida 45-31. Tulane 6-1. USF 1-6. North Texas over Louisiana Tech 47-27. North Texas 4-3. Louisiana Tech 2-4. Washington over Arizona 49-31. Washington 5-2. Arizona 3-4. FAU over Rice 17-14. FAU is 3-4. Rice is 3-3. LSU over Florida 45-35. LSU 5-2. Florida 4-3. Utah State over Colorado State 17-13. Utah State 3-4. Colorado State 1-5. South Alabama over UL Monroe 41-34. South Alabama 5-1. UL Monroe 2-5. Southern Miss over Arkansas State 20-19. Southern Miss 3-3. Arkansas State 2-5. Number 4, Clemson over Florida State 34-28. So that was a good cover. Clemson 7-0. FSU 4-3. Number 22, Kentucky over number 16, Mississippi State 27-17. Kentucky 5-2. Mississippi State 5-2. Stanford over Notre Dame 16-14. Stanford 2-4. Notre Dame 3-3. Purdue over Nebraska 43-37. Purdue 5-2. Nebraska 3-4. East Carolina over Memphis 47-45 in overtime. ECU 4-3. Memphis 4-3. Number 20, Utah over number 7, USC 43-42. Utah 5-2. USC 6-1. New Mexico State over New Mexico 21-9. New Mexico 2-5. New Mexico State is also 2-5. North Carolina over Duke 38-35. UNC is UNC. I apologize here. The app isn't working. Oregon State over Washington State 24-10. Air Force over ULV 42-7. Fresno State over San Jose State 17-10, and Hawaii over Nevada 31-16. I'm gonna try to see what these teams' records are. Let's see here. UNC is now 7-5. Duke is 3-9. Or I'm sorry. At UNC is 6-1. Duke is 4-3. I was reading off preseason projections. My bad. Oregon State is now 5-2. Wazoo's now 4-3. Air Force is 5-2. UNLV is 4-3. Fresno is 2-4. San Jose State is 4-2. Hawaii is 2-5. Nevada's 2-5. Alrighty. Now we'll move on to the Major League Soccer playoffs. We had 4 games over the weekend, and we have 2 games tonight. So Red Bulls lose at home to Cincinnati by a score of 2-1. As Cincinnati advances to take on, I believe, the Philadelphia Union. So Red Bulls got on the board first. Lewis Morgan, in the 48th minute, gives them a 1-0 lead. And then after the break, penalty kick, Luciano Acosta to make it a 1-1 game. Then the go-ahead goal in the 86th minute, Brandon Vasquez for Cincinnati. And by the way, Acosta was in the 74th minute. LA Galaxy over Nashville 1-0. Galaxy goal in the 60th minute by Julian Araujo. So they move on. I believe they're playing LAFC in the next round. They are, because I don't think they reseed. Austin over Salt Lakes. It was a 2-2 game. It was a draw, but Austin FC advances 3-1 on penalties. So Real Salt Lake got on the board first, actually, by on a goal in the 3rd minute of the game by Sergio Cordova to make it 1-0. Then Cordova again, the 15th minute, on a penalty kick, makes it 2-0 Real Salt Lake. And then in the 31st minute, Sebastian Driussi scores to make it a 2-1 game. And then the 94th minute, on a penalty kick, Driussi again makes it a 2-2 game. Then we go to penalty kicks. First up was Marcelo Silva, makes it. Then of Austin, Sebastian Driussi makes it. Andrew Brody of Real Salt Lake, miss. Diego Fagundes of Austin makes it. Brian Ojeda, miss. Emiliano Rigoni makes it. Then Tate Schmidt to keep the game alive, miss. So Austin wins on kicks 3-1 to advance to the next round. So they will take on the winner of one of tonight's games. And then CF Montreal over Orlando 2-0. This was a scoreless game at halftime, and then Ismail Kone in the 68th minute gives Montreal a 1-0 lead. And then on the 99th minute, on a penalty kick, Georgi Mihalovic gives Montreal a 2-0 lead to advance to the next round. So, first up tonight, 7 o'clock, is NYCFC against Miami from Red Bull Arena, or I'm sorry, Citi Field. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Red Bull Arena or Citi Field, but it's Citi Field because Yankee Stadium's obviously hosting that Game 5 tonight. So, NYCFC is a minus 165 home favorite. Miami is plus 390 on the road, and the draw, which would mean kicks, plus 290. So this is the 3-6. The winner of this game gets Montreal. Both these teams have had some ups and downs this year. I think NYCFC is the better team. For the game, I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 116. And then at 9:30, you have Dallas against Minnesota. The winner of this game will play Austin. Dallas is a minus 120 home favorite. Minnesota is plus 270. The draw is plus 260. Minnesota is a negative goal differential. Dallas is plus 11. 5 points apart in the standings. Minnesota gives up a lot of goals, but both teams scored similar amount of goals. So for this game, I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 118. I do think the FC Dallas will win, but I think minus 120 is a little rich. So I think it'll be FC Dallas against Austin, NYC FC against Montreal, and then obviously Thursday night it's Cincinnati at the Philadelphia Union, and then the Battle of LA, it's the LA Galaxy against LA FC. So that's a wonderful doubleheader on Thursday night for soccer. We'll get to that on the Thursday podcast. All right, NHL from the weekend. There's only games Friday and Saturday. I don't know why the league had the day off yesterday. But we'll go over those games and then look ahead to the games being played tonight. Friday, Jets over the Rangers for the win. The Jets are the Jets improved to 1-0-0 on the season, and the Rangers dropped to 2-1. Lightning over the Blue Jackets 5-2. Lightning go to 1-1. The Blue Jackets drop to 0-2. Red Wings over Canadiens 3-0. The Red Wings go to 1-0. And Montreal drops to 1-1. Hurricanes over the Sharks 2-1. The Canes go to 2-0. The Sharks drop to 0-3. I don't know why the records aren't showing up here, which is bizarre to me. And the records do show up on the on the next games list. So, Panthers over the Sabres 4-3. Panthers are now 2-0-0. Sabres drop to 1-1-0. Flyers over the Canucks 3-2. The Flyers are 2-0-0. Vancouver drops to 0-2-0. Bruins over the Coyotes 6-3. The Bruins go to 2-0-0. The Coyotes drop to 0-2-0. Red Wings over the Devils 5-2. Red Wings go to 2-0-0. Devils drop to 0-2-0. Penguins over the Lightning 6-2. The Penguins go to 2-0-0. The Lightning drop to 1-2-0. Maple Leafs over the Senators 3-2. The Leafs improve to 2-1-0. Ottawa drops to 0-2-0. Canadiens lose to the Capitals 3-1. After winning their season opener, they drop to 1-2-0. Washington improves to 1-2-0. Islanders kill the Ducks 7-1. What an impressive win for the Islanders, who are 1-1-0. And Anaheim is 1-1-0. Stars over the Predators 5-1. The Stars go to 2-0-0. Nashville drops to 2-2-0. Kings over the Wild 7-6. The Kings are now 1-2-0. And Minnesota drops to 0-2-0. Two kind of alarming losses for Minnesota. Blues over the Blue Jackets 5-2. The Blues are 1-0-0. It's amazing. They didn't even start the season until Saturday. And Columbus drops to 0-3-0. Flames over the Oilers 4-3. The Flames go to 2-0-0. And Edmonton is 1-1-0. Blackhawks over the Sharks 5-2. The Blackhawks get their first win. They are now 1-2-0 on the season. And San Jose is 0-4-0. And the Golden Knights over the Kraken 5-2. Vegas is 3-0-0 to begin the season. And Seattle is 1-1-1. All right, now we look ahead to the games today. 7 o'clock, we have the Ducks at the Rangers from the Garden. The Rangers are minus 255. Anaheim is plus 205 over under 6, minus 110 each way. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 132. Rangers minus 1.5 is even money. I kind of like the Rangers goal line here, or puck line. I think that they win by multiple goals. I don't like what I've seen from Anaheim so far. They got blown up by the Islanders, and I just don't see how they're competitive with the Rangers. And this is a bounce back spot for the Rangers too. So give me the Rangers minus 1.5 and even money. Panthers Bruins. The Panthers minus 138. The Bruins are plus 115 over under 6.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 102. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 186. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 235. For this game, I'm going to go with the with the Florida Panthers in regulation at plus 126. Kings Red Wings. The Kings are minus 128. The Red Wings are plus 106. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Kings minus 1.5 is plus 210. Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 265. I like the Red Wings plus 106. I said on the show I'd like to give out a couple home dogs or underdogs in general per show for hockey. I like Detroit tonight to knock off LA. Penguins Canadians. Pittsburgh's minus 255. Montreal's plus 205 over under 6.5. Overs minus 124. Unders even money. Pens minus 1.5 is plus 104. Montreal plus 1.5 is minus 130. I'm going to go with the under. I don't like Montreal's offense at all. And Tristan Jarry should really do a good job shutting them down. Coyotes Maple Leafs. Leafs minus 230. Arizona plus 390. Over under 7. Overs minus 1 or plus 106. Unders minus 130. Arizona plus 2.5 is minus 114. Toronto minus 2.5 is minus 106. You're not going to see 2.5s plus off or very often. I'm going to take Arizona plus the 2.5 and minus 114. They can all, it's only a 4-2 Leafs win, right? 5-3. Canucks Capitals. This is a borderline big one. Vancouver's plus 115. Washington's minus 138. Over under 6. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Vancouver plus 1.5 is minus 230. Capitals minus 1.5 is plus 184. This is a tough one, but I kind of think that Vancouver's due to get a win. So I kind of think they're going to win this game. Plus 115 over Washington. 8 o'clock, the Avalanche against the Wild. Avs minus 118, Wild minus 102, over under 6.5. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Avs minus 1.5 is plus 220. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 280. The Wild, they're very desperate for a win. They look terrible against the Rangers. They gave up 7 to the Kings. I know the over's very juiced right now. But Minnesota is due to win. I'm going to take them as a home dog, minus 102. 8:30, the Jets and the Stars. The Stars are minus 138. The Jets were plus 116. Over under 6. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Jets plus 1.5 is minus 245. The Stars minus 1.5 is plus 194. I like the over. I think that there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. And 10 o'clock, you have the Hurricanes at the Kraken. Carolina's minus 176. Seattle's plus 146. Over under 6. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Carolina minus 1.5 is plus 146. Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 180. In this game, I'm going to go with Carolina in regulation at minus 104 against the Kraken. All right, NBA preseason. The last slate of games was Friday. We'll go over those results. The season begins tomorrow, but we'll get into that tomorrow, and then we'll obviously have a big podcast tonight, which we'll get into later. Friday night preseason finales. Knicks over the Wizards, 105-89. Jalen Brunson, 27 points, 5 assists. Rui Hachimura had 20 with 8 boards. Rockets over the Pacers, 122-114. The Rockets are 3-1, Pacers 2-2 in the preseason. Jalen Green, 33 points. And Buddy Hield had 19. Magic over the Cavaliers, 114-108. The Magic, Paolo Banchero, 17 points. Isaiah Okoro, 17 for Cleveland. Raptors over the Celtics, 137-134 in overtime. OG Anunoby, 32 points. Jaylen Brown had 23. Nets over the Timberwolves, 112-102. The Nets, Kyrie Irving, 26 points. D'Angelo Russell had 17 with 6 assists. Pelicans over the Hawks, 120-111. Brandon Ingram, 19 points. DeJounte Murray, 18. Mavericks over Jazz, 115-101. Luka Doncic, 24 points. Lauri Markkanen had 21 and 10 boards for Utah. Nuggets over the Warriors, 119-112. Bones Highland, 18 points. Jonathan Kuminga, 17.6 boards and 7 assists. And the Kings over the Lakers, 133-86. De'Aaron Fox, 21 points, and then LeBron had 10 with 5 boards. All right, so that's it for the NBA preseason. Now we'll move on to golf. We had a tournament over the weekend, the Zozo. We will discuss those results. And your winner with the score of 15 under, Keegan Bradley. Tied for second and 14 under, Ricky Fowler and Adam Putnam. Fourth with 13 under, Emiliano Grillo. Tied for fifth with 12 under, Victor Hovland, Thiglia, and Hayden Buckley. Eighth with 11 under, Cam Champ. Tied for ninth with 10 under, Xander Schauffele, Taylor Hogan, Matthew Neesmith. Tied for 12th with 9 under, Taylor Moore, Maverick McNeely, Kayeta Nakajima, and Ryo Hisatune. Tied for 16th with 8 under, Sodi Kodiara, Bayo Hostler, Adam Schenk, Patrick Rogers, Zol Dahman, Wyndham Clark, and Bakumu Horikawa. Tied for 23rd with 7 under, Mackenzie Hughes and Lucas Hodges. Tied for 25th with 6 under, J.J. Spahn, Corey Connors, Alex Molly, and Joo Hyung Kim. Tied for 29th with 5 under, Christian Ziedenhout, Brandon Wu, Luke List, Dylan Fratelli, Kurt Katayama, Cam Davis, and Sanjay M. Tied for 36th with 4 under, Sam Ryder, Aaron Ray, Kazuki Higa, and Sebastian Munoz. Tied for 40th with 3 under, Hideki Matsuyama, Scott Stallings, Brendan Steele, Stefan Yeager, Davis Lipsky. Tied for 45th with 2 under, Chesner V, Saiwoo Kim, Seb Straka, John Ha, Tyrell Hatton, Mito Pereira, Colin Morikawa, Martin Laird. Tied for 53rd with 1 under, Danny Lee, Adam Long, Tommy Fleetwood, Cam Young, Yuto Katsuragawa, and Takumi Kanyana. Tied for 59th at even, Adam Svensson, Lucas Herbert, Rukuya Hoshino, Lucas Herbert, Kyan Lee, and Chung Sun Pan. Tied for 64th at even, Matt Wallace. I'm going to go through notables. 66 with 2 over, Mark Hubbard. Tied for 67th with 3 over, Davis Riley. Tied for 69th with 4 over, Chad Ramey. 71st with 5 over, Trey Merritt. Tied for 72nd with 7 over, Peter Malnati. 74th with 8 over, Kevin Stroman and Russell Knox. And that's it for the Zozo Championship. Next up is the CJ Cup. We'll preview it and pick it on the podcast on Wednesday. All right, NASCAR results. They raced in Las Vegas. We'll start with Xfinity. Your winner for this race, how about Josh Berry? Second, Noah Gragson. Third, Justin Allgaier. Fourth, Ty Gibbs. Fifth, Trevor Baynes. Sixth, Austin Hill. Seventh, Sam Meyer. Eighth, Daniel Hemrick. Ninth, Brandon Jones. 10th, Anthony Alfredo. The rest, Landon Castle, Nick Sanchez, Haley Deegan, Kyle Weatherman, Jeremy Clements, John Hunter Nemechek, Jed Burton, Riley Herbst, Myatt Snyder, Raja Caruth, Parker Retzlaff, AJ Allmendinger, Stefan Parsons, Chris Wright, Garrett Smithley, Kyle Sieg, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Ryan Vargas, Mason Massey, CJ McLaughlin, David Starr, Matt Jaskell, Bailey Curry, Josh Williams, Matt Mills, JJ Yaley, Sheldon Creed, and Ryan Sieg. And the Cup Series, your winner from Vegas, Joey Logano. Second, Ross Chaston. Third, Kyle Busch. Fourth, Chase Briscoe. Fifth, Denny Hamlin. Sixth, Tyler Reddick. Seventh, Martin Truex Jr. Eighth, Eric Jones. Ninth, AJ Allmendinger. 10th, AJ Dillon. The rest, Noah Gragson, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Justin Haley, Chris Boucher, Daniel Suarez, Brad Keselowski, Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell, Cole Custer, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Corey LaJoie, Todd Gilliland, Harrison Burton, Cody Ware, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, BJ Leclerc, JJ Yaley, Landon Castle, Ty Dillon, Chris Bell, Kyle Larson, and Bubba Wallace. Next week is Homestead, Miami for all three of the leagues. And in the championship race for truck is November 4th. November 5th is Xfinity Championship, and the Cup Championship is November 6th. So it's funny that, so 3 Cup races left. Xfinity is down to 3, and truck is down to 2. So only 3 more weeks on NASCAR on the podcast. All right, now I'll move on to the NBA Top 100 Players list. Obviously, tonight's going to be the big preview and predictions show. All right, so I have 7 honorable mentions. I'm going to go through the honorable mentions on the list. There's only 7 of them, even though the league is loaded, but I can't pick everybody. So my honorable mentions. Jordan Clarkson, Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, D'Angelo Russell, Rashawn Holmes, Brook Lopez, and Montrezl Harrell. Obviously, Clarkson of the Jazz, Hayward of the Hornets, Horford of the Celtics, Russell of the Timberwolves, Holmes of the Kings, Lopez of the Bucks, and Harrell of the Sixers. And without further ado, my top 100 players for the 2022-23 NBA season. 100, Josh Hart, Portland Trailblazers. 99, DeAndre Hunter Hawks. 98, Sadiq Bey, Pistons. 97, Alperen Sengun, Rockets. 96, Onyeka Okongwu, Hawks. 95, Draymond Green, Warriors. 94, Patrick Williams, Bulls. 93, Keldon Johnson, Spurs. 92, Yusuf Nurkic, Trailblazers. 91, Jabari Smith, Rockets. 90, Paolo Banchero, Magic. 89, Ben Simmons, Nets. 88, Kyle Kuzma, Wizards. 87, Franz Wagner, Magic. 86, Aaron Gordon, Nuggets. 85, Dylan Brooks, Grizzlies. 84, Buddy Hield, Pacers. 83, Lou Dort, Thunder. 82, Mikal Bridges, Suns. 81, Kristaps Porzingis, Wizards. 80, Michael Porter Jr., Nuggets. 79, Harrison Barnes, Kings. 78, John Collins, Hawks. 77, Christian Wood, Mavericks. 76, Miles Turner, Pacers. 75, OG Anunoby, Raptors. 74, Marcus Smart, Celtics. 73, Kyle Lowry, Heat. 72, Wendell Carter Jr., Magic. 71, Mitchell Robinson, Knicks. 70, DeMar DeRozan, Bulls. 69, Jeremy Grant, Trailblazers. 68, DeJounte Murray, Hawks. 67, Gary Trent Jr., Raptors. 66, Bojan Bogdanovic, Pistons. 65, Jordan Poole, Warriors. 64, Desmond Bane, Grizzlies. 63, Malcolm Brogdon, Celtics. 62, Tobias Harris, 76ers. 61, Klay Thompson, Warriors. 60, Norman Powell, Clippers. 59, Julius Randle, Knicks. 58, Jonas Valanciunas, Pelicans. 57, Nikola Vucevic, Bulls. 56, Tyler Herro, Heat. 55, Jalen Brunson, Knicks. 54, Kyrie Irving, Nets. 53, Jamal Murray, Nuggets. 52, Josh Giddey, Thunder. 51, Tyrese Maxey, 76ers. 50, Anfernee Simons, Trailblazers. 49, Domantas Sabonis, Kings. 48, Robert Williams, Celtics. 47, Jaren Jackson Jr., Grizzlies. 46, Tyrese Halliburton, Pacers. 45, Jalen Green, Rockets. 44, RJ Barrett, Knicks. 43, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Thunder. 42, Scotty Barnes, Raptors. 41, Cade Cunningham, Pistons. 40, LaMelo Ball, Hornets. 39, Fred VanVleet, Raptors. 38, Chris Middleton, Bucks. 37, De'Aaron Fox, Kings. 36, Zach LaVine, Bulls. 35, Jared Allen, Cavaliers. 34, Drew Holiday, Bucks. 33, Chris Paul, Suns. 31, Andrew Wiggins, Warriors. 31, Brandon Ingram, Pelicans. 30, Jaylen Brown, Celtics. 29, TJ McCollum, Pelicans. 28, Darius Garland, Cavaliers. 27, Rudy Gobert, Timberwolves. 26, Evan Mobley, Cavaliers. 25, Zion Williamson, Pelicans. 24, Karl Anthony Towns, Timberwolves. 23, Donovan Mitchell, Cavaliers. 22, Bradley Beal, Wizards. 21, DeAndre Ayton, Suns. 20, James Harden, 76ers. 19, Damian Lillard, Trailblazers. 18, Pascal Siakam, Raptors. 17, Anthony Edwards, Timberwolves. 16, Jimmy Butler, Heat. 15, Paul George, Clippers. 14, Kawhi Leonard, Clippers. 13, Anthony Davis, Lakers. 12, Bam Adebayo, Heat. 11, Trae Young, Hawks. 10, John Morant, Grizzlies. 9, Devin Booker, Suns. 8, Kevin Durant, Nets. 7, Jason Tatum, Suns. 6, LeBron James, Lakers. 5, Stephen Curry, Warriors. 4, Nikola Jokic, Nuggets. 3, Joel Embiid, 76ers. 2, Luka Doncic, Mavericks. And number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is number 1 on this list until further notice. I know he didn't win last year, but he probably would have won if his supporting cast stayed healthy. Doncic is just incredible and will single-handedly keep the Dallas Mavericks in contention for the playoffs. Embiid versus Jokic, I talked about in the centers. They're both amazing, but I just think Embiid's a better overall player than Jokic, although Jokic is better passing-wise. But I just think Embiid is a better defensive player, and that's the difference between the two. Steph versus LeBron was hard, but I went with Steph because very quietly, Stephen Curry and LeBron James have the same number of rings. Wait, or Steph has more than LeBron. LeBron won the 2. Oh, LeBron has 4. I forgot about the Laker ring. Right, I forgot. He did win one with the Lakers. I forgot about that. So they both each have 4 rings, but I went with recency bias with Steph, and LeBron missed the playoffs 2 of his Lakers seasons. Tatum versus Durant. Tatum gets the edge because Tatum was just in the finals, and Durant hasn't even been to the conference finals with the Brooklyn Nets, let alone the NBA finals. And rounding out the top 10 is Booker and Morant. Booker, I think, is just incredible. Was the best player on the team that had the best record last year. And then I chose Ja Morant because he's just a special talent, and he made a major leap this year. And him versus Trae Young's an interesting conversation. I've been Team Morant. Last year, I was a little wavery. I said I thought my take was wrong, but then it turned out that my take was right. So, and the other one you could argue for the top 10, you could argue a couple guys, but I put Bam ahead of the Kawhi, Davis, Paul George, Butler group because of his defensive impact. And then those four, I think, belong together because of injury history and whatnot. So, all the way down to 16, you can make a case for the top 10. Then we get into that Anthony Edwards, Pascal Siakam group. And then Harden and Lillard round out the top 20. But they aren't top 10 players anymore. All right, so there you have it, my top 100 players for the 2022-23 NBA season. All right, now I'll move on to news and notes. We have some things to talk about. Some news coming out from Houston is that the Houston Texans fire influential Vice President of Football Operations, Jack Easterby, after 3 seasons. So this is an interesting move. I don't know if the Deshaun Watson thing has to do with it, even though they traded him away. But I think this is nuts that they traded him this early in the season. The New Orleans Saints could bench Jameis Winston. If it was reported that if he played well, which he did against the Bengals, that he can hold on to that starting job. The NFL is unlikely to discipline Devontae Adams until his legal process concludes. But that was for the punch from the other night. The Rams are taking calls on Cam Akers, who was out yesterday due to personal reasons. The Bills, 49ers, Rams, and Broncos have showed interest in a trade for Panthers star running back Christian McCaffrey. I think all those teams will be interested. Obviously, Saquon Barkley officially off the trade market, with the Giants being 5-1. So McCaffrey's going to net somebody back a first-round pick if he gets traded. And back to the Akers thing is that he was away from the team for working through some things. Veteran receiver Deshaun Jackson wants to play this year. As he says on I Am Athlete podcast, he isn't retired and wants to play for either the Eagles or the Packers. I think the Packers badly need him. Sammy Watkins out. They failed to replace Devontae Adams. Not that Djax can replicate that by any stretch of the imagination. And this isn't Djax who beat the Giants in the Miracle in the Meadowlands. But he'll help Green Bay. Would help him. Broncos to activate Justin Simmons after missing 4 games with a thigh injury. So that's good news for their defense. Dak plans to return next week after missing 5 games with a broken thumb. That is really good news. Lane Johnson did not return last night due to concussion protocol. Kenny Pickett got diagnosed with concussion, and he did not return against the Bucs. Marquise Brown limped off the field with an ankle injury. Cam Brate was carted off after suffering a head injury and was taken out on the stretcher. That was not a pretty scene. Keenan Allen eyeing a Week 7 return against Seattle. Tua Tagovailoa clears concussion protocol, expected to return Week 7 against the Steelers. Some college stuff. A ref confronts the UNLV ban as official goes into the crowd to give the band an earful during the game. Tennessee fined $100,000 after fans rushed to the field to celebrate the Alabama win. And that is their second violation of SEC policy. Lane Kiffin trolls Nick Saban. That was an interesting meme. Deion Sanders says on 60 Minutes that he'd entertain an offer from a Power 5 school. He goes, I'd be fooled not to. How about this? Bills defensive back Jordan Poyer wasn't medically cleared to fly to KC, so he drove himself. 15 hours. That's crazy. The NFL did not fine Grady Jarrett and Chris Jones for roughing the passer calls during Week 5. The Panthers remove Robbie Anderson from the game after a heated exchange with interim coach Steve Wilkes. Yikes, what a disaster. Jets rookie cornerback Sauce Gardner left the field with a fan's cheesehead before Alan Lazard knocked it off. That's a yikes. So, we'll move on to basketball now. News coming down 5 minutes ago is that the Rockets and guard Kevin Porter Jr. 4-year, $82.5 million contract extension. So that is good news for the Rockets, locking up one of their young players that they really like. 76ers Thibault engaged in brief conversations about a rookie scale extension. So that would be interesting. Brandon Clark gets a 4-year, $52 million extension from the Grizzlies. Russell Westbrook came off the bench in the preseason game against the Kings the other night, and Russ is receptive to the bench rule as Westbrook's relationship with Darwin Ham made bench rule an easier pitch when approached. The Golden State Warriors are facing a $500 million plus bill as they're to pay $483 million in salary and luxury tax after extensions, and it could exceed $500 million if Draymond picks up the $27.6 million option. Reggie Jackson to start at point guard over John Wall for the Clippers. Right move. John Wall isn't John Wall from the Wizards. Like, come on. Lakers fear that Dennis Schroeder's out long-term, as they have some worry that Schroeder's right finger injury could lead to extended absence. And then Russ left the preseason game against the Kings due to a hamstring injury. Nets guards Seth Curry and Joe Harris will both miss the season opener. So that's not good news for Brooklyn. Nate Robinson has an illness. Former NBA slam dunk champion is undergoing treatment for renal kidney failure. Thoughts and prayers go out to Nate Robinson. That's just really sad. We talked about the Lakers trying Russell Westbrook off the bench. Two contract extensions for the Warriors. Jordan Poole and the Warriors, 4 years, $140 million. And Andrew Wiggins, 4 years, $109 million. Tying him down for 5 years, $143 million. That's wild. And that's really good for the Warriors to lock them both down long term. Hall of Fame basketball player Dikembe Mutombo is currently undergoing treatment for a brain tumor. That's really sad. Hopefully he gets well soon. Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim says the Big Ten sucked back in March. If you can't play in the tournament, then you're not good. Yikes. That's a harsh take by Jim Boeheim. All right, to baseball. The big news is that the Dodgers, despite losing to the Padres, are expected to keep Dave Roberts, as he is not on the hot seat after the team was eliminated by the Padres. I'm not the biggest Dave Roberts fan. I think that the COVID title, it still counts for something. But I feel like they won in spite of him, and the fact that Kevin Cash made some bad decisions in that series helped the Dodgers a lot. And here they are, 111 wins, lose to the Padres. Former Giants manager Bruce Bochy met with the Texas Rangers as he spoke with GM Chris Young about the managerial position. That would be a wonderful hire for Texas if they were able to pull that off. Josh Naylor had a celebration after hitting a home run off of Garrett Cole to make it a 3-2 game. He was rocking the baby cell. And apparently that's like an inside joke he has with Tristan McKenzie. A Browns fan says, F the Yankees, as he had the energy going early ahead of the possible clincher, which wasn't the clincher yesterday. Could be the clincher today. You never know. But the baby cell could be bad karma for the Guardians, too. Because it reminded me of a lot of when Vlad Guerrero Jr. said, this is my house, after he hit the walk-off against the Yankees in the game before they clinched the division. Meaning the Yanks. Trent Grisham has let Stephen go, as the broadcast had to bleep out the explicit word as he let the hype talk. Beat LA chants in San Diego. They were chanting that all those last two games. Harrison Bader had a wonderful quote after the game last night. Every day I wake up and it feels good to be a Yankee. That is a great quote. I love it. And I'm sure a lot of players on the team would agree. Meanwhile, obviously, on Saturday night, the Yankees infamously blew Game 3, courtesy of Aaron Boone's decision-making and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa playing terrible shortstop. And Luis Severino spoke up about Clay Holmes not being used on Saturday. He goes, he's our closer, so of course I was surprised. That really is throwing your manager under the bus, and Aaron Boone already looks bad. He's going to get booed when they do introductions today, just like Joe Girardi got booed in Game 3 of the 2017 ALDS after he infamously blew Game 2 with the non-challenge on a hit by pitch that wasn't. And meanwhile, Aaron Boone noticed that wasn't a hit by pitch and challenged it yesterday. Probably saved the game, if you think about it. Really saved the game. So I got to give Boone credit for that, as bad as he was in Game 3. And I thought Game 3 was the worst game he's ever managed. So he's going to be ready for the boos tonight, and that's really sad, despite the outcome of tonight's game. The NHL statement on Ian Cole is that the league finds no evidence to substantive allegations of sexual abuse and grooming against the Lightning defenseman. So I guess they're just going to move on from this and such if they didn't see any evidence. So that's interesting. And one less distraction for the Lightning. All right, best bet. of the day brought to you by FanDuel. All right, so this is a tough one. The sport that I'm going to go to tonight is the National Hockey League. I'm going to lay a quarter unit, and I really like a similar play, or pretty much the same play I made against this particular team, but it didn't work out. But I think it's going to work out today. I'm going against the Kraken in regulation yet again. I'm going with Carolina at minus 104 in regulation against the Kraken. So Carolina Hurricanes in regulation, minus 104 against the Kraken. All right, so that's it for the podcast. Today, I'll be back tomorrow, recapping everything, look ahead to everything tomorrow, News and Notes, Best Bet, and tonight's the Monster NBA predictions show as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.